Hi, TAKful Creator here. Okay, let's get started. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, grace, and communion watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. And what do I mean by communion? Okay, so there needs to be some togetherness. Okay, that's the energy that I'm tapping into right now. There needs to be togetherness. There's no togetherness right now. It's like people working alongside each other, but not together as one workable team, right? We need some kind of create and destroy vibes, right? And what happens when you create is like a ball of energy. What happens when you destroy something? It's like a ball of energy. So what are we doing? We are creating, or in essence, we are looking toward entropy, right? Which is energy that builds on itself. Well, the easiest way for energy to build on itself is a collective energy. And so that's the whole idea of working as a team. You guys build entropy by having individual energy that comes together and creates something larger. And because you are using all these other energies to assist you, it's multiplying and magnifying, and all those other words that symbolize that, the collective energy is increasing. Okay, so that's the energy that I'm already getting right now. Why? Because I'm in a parking lot, ShopRite. That's where I was called to be, right? I was looking for a good park on the map. I wanted to go somewhere new, and I ended up at a ShopRite. But I'm in like the farthest part of the parking lot, but like still ShopRite. Why? Symbolically, I need to nourish, I need to feed the collective in the best way possible, of course. There's some kind of magnetic, attractive survival energy here. Okay. They waited for me to stop chatting. I love it. Okay, so we have Pisces in reverse. We have this magnetic, attractive boss lady here. Okay. And I said in a previous reading, I had a girl boss card, and I wanted to define it a little bit more. So this boss lady card is basically the mature, respected version of a girl boss, right? It's like you are an entrepreneur as a female energy, or as a feminine. You are large and in charge, right? All by yourself. You are emanating in your masculine energy while also balancing your feminine energy. So people note that you are a woman walking in this seat of masculinity, right? Power, which would be being a CEO of your own company, or orchestrating something, delegating something, even hosting an event where you're the one letting the guests and everything know what the itinerary is or the schedule is. And it's just that status where people are looking to you because you can be trusted with control, power, which is all under the umbrella of leadership, right? And this person is magnetic in this reverse Piscean energy. Let's see. Shopping store. Dark magic return to sender. Oh, okay, so that's one of the reasons why I'm probably be here. Maybe certain energies have noted where I frequent, and so they're, maybe casting a cloud over there. That could cloak the energy field of me, being able to draw in the energy for this reading. So they want me at a shopping center to kind of cloak me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Cloak me from who? It's not really important, but I'm sure they're going to let me know in my own personal reading. Okay, there's a lot of cards that dropped. Hacked accounts. Hacked accounts. Okay, let's see what happened. Let's get out the pendulum. Ooh. So let's see what the pendulum has for us. Sheesh. Okay. Hi, Divine. Thank you for being here. Can you show me no? Thank you. Show me yes. And that we're on the right track. Much appreciated. Okay, so what do we really need to know here? Okay. So we have a boss lady. Okay, and this boss lady is the chosen one, or could be considered the chosen one, right? Because the intention for this reading is for the chosen energy to be shine a light on, or the light to be shown on the chosen energy, better way of saying it, so that they are able to prepare and delegate and collect themselves before engaging in whatever mission or purpose the divine has for them. Okay, and that means that they need to see the karmic energies around them. They need to see the lessons, whatever trials and tribulations that might be happening with people that could be attached to the energies that know them. All right, so it's a lot larger of like a grasp. It's a lot larger of a scope. Right? But you're only doing it with the people that you are around. So like your immediate family members, they could be significant to like maybe the 5 sins, right? That's in the Bible, right? Each of your family members, they are particular to one sin. So what you're doing is you're hanging around them, you're understanding what that sin shows up as, then you're seeing what that sin can do. Right, so you're seeing where it is here, and then seeing the future effects of it, and then what you're doing is seeing how you can go to the past in your mind, go to the past and reconstruct the situation so that it doesn't play out that way. So, for example, if we have someone that enjoys lying, right? They're a compulsive liar. Well, what does lying do for them right now? It makes them feel good. It has them run away from trouble. Okay, what does it do for them in the future? Well, it makes them less trustworthy. It enables them to, do other poor behaviors. And then it accrues chaos and disaster. Okay, so what could have happened in the past that would make them so okay with chaos and disaster for the future? Obviously, chaos and disaster, right? A sandwich has 2 pieces of bread and cream in the middle. If the present is cream in the middle, the piece of bread for the future, which is a lot easier to imagine, is most likely the piece of bread or very similar to the piece of bread of the past. Okay, so because of this, now we can see there's some kind of chaos or tragedy that caused them to compulsively lie. Let's dive into that. And then there you're starting to understand what could be altered. If we could do this all over again, what could be altered so that this person doesn't feel the need to compulsively lie, right? Once you understand that in your mind, you're transmuting that energy for your bloodline. You're transmuting that energy for any other chosen person that's around you. They're able to get those downloads, okay? And then help the collective of energies around them that might be compulsive liars. Okay, you see how it's all connected, right? That's what I'm getting here. So by this boss lady, this magnetic attractive boss lady, she's not only attracting like material items and love and abundance, she's attracting positive energy overall. So this could mean good personal health. This could mean good business health. This could mean mental, emotional health. This could mean abundance with time and energy she's getting from so she's a boss lady, from her workers, or the enthusiasm that needs to be attached to the time and energy in order for it to be quality, right? So this boss lady, her energy is the aura of light right now, and so it's attracting moths, butterflies, the largest animal, the smallest animal. It is like the sun. That is the magnitude of this boss lady's energy right now. That's what I'm getting. And, you know, we could take this out the reading because it was just confirmation that I'm at the shopping store to return whatever magic people want to send my way to kind of ruin these readings, right? Oh, let's double check. Is this a Piscean energy? No. But this boss lady is either a Pisces. Actually, no. She's in Pisces energy. Okay. Now, whether or not she has a highly aspected in her chart, we're not talking about that, because as a chosen one, even if it's not in your chart, your astrological chart, you were called to learn the skill set so that you can embody both the good and negative traits of all. The highest vibe, of course, of the good and negative traits. So this boss lady is just in this Piscean energy. So she's not a Pisces. She has ascended to the point where she can be in this energy in a high vibe way, right? Obviously, for her to be a boss and magnetically attractive. So we're going to put that over here with this Pisces energy, boss lady, magnetic and attractive. Okay, and we can tell this boss lady is in her masculine energy because it wanted to kind of flip over, saying that, you know, she's kind of bossy. She's a little bit overactive vocally, but that is one of the reasons why everyone loves her. It brings the excitement because she's so talkative. It accrues talking to people around her. Since I'm gaining that she's high vibe, these conversations are like high vibe conversations. They're not like, you know, superficial, talking about the weather, talking about gossip and drama. No, they're high vibrational conversations. Okay, so there's some funeral or service here in a celebration, right? So this could be a symbolic of a death and rebirth process, right? So you are laying something to rest so that something else can grow. Now I use the example of the moth and the butterfly, both of which start off as caterpillars. So I've read something way back when about the difference about frequencies, or the difference with frequencies rather. Frequency is kind of like two caterpillars hanging out. Now you both visually look the same, maybe there's a color difference, but in size and shape you're aesthetically very similar. Once you get to the point of cocoon, whatever happens in that cocoon is specific to your genetic makeup. Now, you can be a moth, you can be a butterfly. You can be a butterfly that looks like a moth, or you can be the most gorgeous butterfly. You can be a moth that looks like the most concrete moth that if you looked it up in a dictionary, that would be the picture that popped up. Or you can be a moth that it looks very similar to a butterfly. But it's like, at what point of your journey do you recognize what you show up as? And at what point in your journey does it change everything for you? For a lot of people, it's after you come out of the cocoon and you're figuring out what the other person is, and you're comparing yourself to the other person. So you come out of your cocoon as a caterpillar, and now you're a butterfly, and you're looking at the moth, and now you're seeing yourself as a moth, because that's the reflection you think of yourself as. Why? Because the frequency before you got into the cocoon was that you were with this caterpillar, you were with this same like entity. So when you get out of the cocoon, you're automatically going to assume that you are looking at another version of yourself, as if it's a mirror. Unfortunately, and that's the whole process of growing and healing and understanding how you show up in the present. And how do you show up in the present? Well, how do you show up in the present is based on the past and the future. Understanding that so that you can move with discernment. Because once you get out of that cocoon and one's a butterfly and one's a moth, there's no way that you both can live and thrive in the same environments. There's no way. You can attempt to do that. However, there's going to be some very large difference. For example, moths are nocturnal, so they're out at night. If they're out during the day, they're most likely, food for other livestock. And butterflies, they're out during the day. If they're out at night, as being as colorful as they are in the dark, they will be food. They'll be like, livestock, food for other livestock. So in this way of understanding the differences in the butterflies, okay, we're understanding what this death and rebirth really is telling us. It's not just saying, hey, you're undergoing some kind of a cocoon process. No, it's letting us know that not only is your body changing, your mindset, emotional state, everything has to change with it. Because your emotional state, your body, your environment, all of that changes, that means the people that you hang out with changes too. That caterpillar that you were bumping it with that turned into a moth is now not your pal, because you were a butterfly. You thriving with a moth could lead you to your death, and a moth thriving with you could lead the moth to an early grave as well. It could lead that moth to ascension if we were talking about real people, but if we're speaking strictly about the animal kingdom, it's going to lead the moth to death, and that's not what we want to do. If there's death, there should be rebirth. Okay, so that means that you have to understand how you show up in the world so that the world can show up for you in a line. But if the world's showing up for you because they see where you are and you're not seeing where you are, you lack the awareness, then you're going to miss out on the opportunity that comes with turning into a butterfly. Or you miss out on the opportunity that comes with turning out like a moth. Okay? So we have this death and rebirth process, and we're not entirely sure if this with this boss lady yet. Something about Juneteenth around Juneteenth. So Juneteenth is the 17th to the 19th, but we're getting the June month kind of mid-early. So maybe around like the 14th or 15th of June, maybe between the 10th and the 15th of June is what I'm getting here. There's something about a karmic and a tarot reader. Okay, so this is the issue with these cards, right? Because I've set so many intentions for them, the message really gets a bit janky. Okay, so right here we have a funeral service. So everything that's on the left side is contingent with the left side. Everything that's on the right side is contingent with the right side. And these storylines are happening simultaneously with this girl boss or around this boss lady. Okay, so you hear what I said around this girl boss, which would be the more karmic relationship to an entrepreneurial lady. And then we have the boss lady, which would be the more respected version of, or the more respected, more divine, chosen version of the lady. Now, why do we say that? It's because we have, it's either she's being viewed like this or she's being viewed like this. This is how the world is viewing her. This is how she's showing up in the world, even though this is her true essence over here. This is truly, objectively, if we were to go fact for fact, this is how this boss lady is showing up in the world. However, here, we're seeing how different energies are interpreting her. So an energy that is a higher vibration, this is how they're interpreting her as a boss lady. But energies that are lower vibration, this is how they're interpreting this girl boss who's a little bit too bossy and outspoken and XYZ. But why? Maybe because there's something in their childhood or something in their DNA or something in their previous experiences that said whatever this boss lady is doing is not correct. There's a better way. Or they want to do exactly what this boss lady is doing and they find it hard to accept that they're not there yet. Or maybe that they'll never be there because they don't have the inclination that this boss lady has to be in this seat. Okay, so again, it could be a multitude of things, but we have two different viewpoints here. One that's a karmic viewpoint and another one that's a chosen viewpoint of the same chosen energy. Okay, so not negating the death and rebirth process, because this boss lady went through a death and rebirth process. This is the reason why she has both karmic energies and chosen energies within her frequency. Okay, so the part where there was a funeral, okay, this is the part where this is the karmic end. So there was a karmic end around June 19th. With a karmic reader. This person is a perpetrator, and you must stay clear. This karmic reader, it's cancel culture, so we need to cancel this karmic reader. This karmic reader may have said someone else is a sex worker, or that, you know, they were talking ill about sex workers, or they're an undercover sex worker. And they offer fake news. Either way, they're showing up Leo. Okay, so now that I've gotten kind of like the bones of this, let's reorganize. Okay, so how are the karmics viewing this boss lady? They're viewing this boss lady as someone who needs to be in a coffin, someone who doesn't need to undergo a death and rebirth process. Honestly, needs to undergo just an official dirt nap process, right? Because of something that happened on June 19th or around June 19th, 17th to 19th, right? This is the whole reason, you know, this boss lady is even coming up, because around this date is when they made their official coming out. This is when they finalized their business. This is when they made themselves known in the community. This is when they officially had their death and rebirth process, which means they saw the light, and everyone started to see that they saw the light based on their communication, based on how they're showing up, based on their change in their energy, whatever the case is. This death and rebirth process happened around the 19th, and people wanted to kind of like murder this individual around that date. Okay, well, they probably employed karmic readers to assess what this boss lady has up her sleeve, what she, you know, how she got to where she is, you know, where she's going, again, past, present, and future. So they went, this, you know, whoever's viewing this boss lady went to a karmic reader to offer a general reading, of course, but then to see if there was additional manipulation that they could give to this boss lady, right? So that could be witchcraft, that could be curses or hexes, that could be, you know, I don't know, like seeing how the person ticks and, you know, sucking the life from them like a tick would do. So this is what this karmic reader was employed to do with this boss lady. Or they're viewing this boss lady as a karmic reader, that the information that she's spewing is lies, that she's not speaking with true integrity. And what I mean by integrity, like if she's saying the guides are talking to her, or, you know, she's being led to do something, or she's being instructed or guided to do something, that she's making that up. She heard other people say it, so she's saying it. You know, she's just doing random things that she think would be interesting or fun, instead of seeing that there's, you know, there's true purpose and stuff. That's how they're attacking this boss lady, by saying that, you know, she's a phony, a fake or phony, and that people need to stay clear of her readings or stay clear of her energy because of the readings that they got on her. Okay, maybe they're trying to cancel her, so maybe they're reporting her videos, or if she's a karmic reader. But if she's a boss lady in another regard, maybe they're on Yelp giving bad reviews, or maybe giving bad reviews on her other social media, even though they may not have bought a product from her, did anything with her. You know, maybe they're, you know, still using their own previous bad experiences and attaching it to a poor rating for this boss lady to kind of ruffle her feathers, right? And another part of why they're canceling her is probably because this karmic reader said that she was a sex worker, or that maybe she is physically attractive. Not only is she magnetic, attracting things in, but she's physically attractive. She's nice to look at. And so because she's nice to look at, you know, people are saying that she's a sex worker, or, you know, spewing lies in order to cancel her past all this other perpetration that was going on, right? And something about more fake news, and I think that's attached to this, you know, if this boss lady is a reader, this boss lady is offering fake news to people. Or if it's about, let's say, a holistic business, she's offering herbal treatments and stuff like that that are fake and don't work. Like, I'm getting the investigate further fake news. Whoever is viewing this boss lady in a negative light wants to attach negativity to everything she's doing, to discredit everything she's doing. And a way to do that is to kind of like diminish the positive that you automatically see in her. So her physical appearance, diminish that, right? Cancel her based on her physical appearance. She is physically attractive. She can gain stuff in. So because of that, she must be karmic. She must be manipulating other people in order to get the stuff that she has in, right? Juneteenth is all about independence, right? It's about being one with your culture in a way that was kind of taken from you. It's kind of stripped from you. So you're finding the beauty in your own progression, your own people's progression in life, right? Saying that progression, this death and rebirth process, was not necessary. There was no existential crisis like slavery that, you know, black people were required to have some kind of day of retribution, day of sanctity. Just like 9/11 has a day of remembrance, you know, they should have a day of remembrance also. We should have a day of remembrance also, to humanize us like you do everything else, right? There's a sense of dehumanizing this boss lady for some reason. And I'm not getting that this boss lady's a Leo or has much Leo attached to her chart, because she's magnetic and attractive. Now the sun is magnetic and attractive, right? It attracts things to revolve around it and so on. But the sun is not saying, hi, I'm the sun, look at me, clap, clap, clap. You get what I'm saying? And this magnetic and attractiveness is very subtle. It's very calm. It's very detached, right? She's not expecting it. It's just happening for her. She's gracefully emanating this energy. Whereas over here, this Leo, especially because it's not fully in the upright, it's between that karmic and non-karmic energy. It's saying that it's the center of attention, the light of your life. Yes, a boss lady needs to be someone who can be a boss, and the boss of outside of Cap, because you know how Capricorns, this darn camera doing what the darn camera does, which is go out. Anyway, so this Leo is all about sun energy, but the sun is in and out, right? This attractive energy is like the sun all the time. When this boss lady is sleeping, when this boss lady is happy, when this boss lady is mad, they're still in this positive, magnetic, attractive energy because they're so high vibrational. Whereas this Leo is not, this Leo energy rather, is not quite the same. Okay, you're in that sun energy. You want to be. You must. It's not very detached. Eyes must be on you. The attention, the validation, it all must be there. It's kind of like the most popular person at school needing to feel popular. Okay, and that's what I'm getting with this cancel culture and everything, is because the sex worker, quote unquote, wants to feel popular. But it's fake news, they don't need to be popular, they're karmic, or a karmic reader, they're manipulative, the karmic reader says so, XYZ. It's so much negative that this energy is pushing. And it's like, for why? Are you jelly? Because then we have the reverse of all of this. And I'm just going to reorient the cards so that we can see this. Because what we really understand here is that this boss lady went through a death and rebirth process, and they're at the point of celebration, understanding that they're out of the cocoon and they're a butterfly. They can flap their wings and be the prettiest thing walking down or flying, flapping down, the garden. However, butterflies don't walk around like that. Butterflies often don't see their own wings. So their level of beauty is only seen by everyone else around them, can only be appreciated by everyone else around them. The butterfly is only thinking about survival, is only thinking about what it needs to do to progress forward. It's not thinking about, oh, am I the center of attention type of thing, right? So we're in the celebration mode because of the month of June. So maybe this craziness happened in the mid-June, but in the beginning of June, something crazy happened. An epiphany to where this boss lady really got herself into action. And then mid-June is when maybe there was a bit more chaos, because being called into action is a 180 from the life this boss lady was living originally. So now that means everyone else has to kind of get on board, right? Whether or not everybody else accepts it is whether or not everybody else accepts it. It's this boss lady's individual life. But like most karmic people do, they feel like everyone else around in their life must adhere to their opinions, their mindset, their perception to ease the life that they have to deal with, because they most likely will have to deal with that person's company, right? So they want to control them in that way by saying, hey, do what my opinion says. It has the best interest of heart, or the best interest at heart, you know that saying, for both of us, when in actuality it's only for the person that's saying it. Okay, the positive for the person that's listening is, you not having to deal with the attitude of the person that's offering the opinion or advice. I don't know. Anyway, this boss lady has removed herself from those chains. She has fully engulfed into a butterfly where she doesn't care about the level of beauty she has. She just knows she's emanating in that level of beauty. Okay? This boss lady may have went to a tarot reader herself and understood that her destiny is bright. And so she has to continue to move in the light. That's the support and validation that she needs. She doesn't need the external, because she already maybe has her own cards. If she's a karmic, if she's not the, like in the other reading, with the one scenario being that she's a karmic reader, and then the other scenario being that another karmic reader read something on her. It's the same thing in this scenario. Either she's a tarot reader where she has her own cards and her own deck, so she knows her fate. She's going to continue down her path because they told her, her guides, her ancestors, the higher vibrational beings that she's enveloped with, have let her know, this is why you're a boss lady. Continue down your path. You will continue to be magnetic and attractive if you do XYZ, and she's being a faithful follower. Or other people got a reading on this boss lady, and they saw that her life was about to skyrocket into the positive because of this death and rebirth process. And in essence, she was caught in the act. Either she was caught in the act actively reading or writing tarot, or she was caught in the act of this is what you're planning. Right? Because we saw that if something happened in the beginning of June, and then in the middle of June she was in her cocoon, at the end of June she was out of her cocoon, that at some point in time someone saw her go through this process, or they went to a reader and she was caught in the act because the reader let everyone know what that process was that she went through. So they're just like, oh, okay, so this is why she's so great. This is why she progressed. This is why things went well for her. And so they're more accepting of this boss lady status that technically happened out of nowhere. This magnetic and attractive energy that is so fruitful now. Even though this boss lady had it before, now that she's a boss lady, is so fruitful. Okay, now they understand why. Because of what they found in the tarot reading. Then we have, there's some kind of predictable or cyclical nature. So why was she caught in the act? Right? Because she was doing something on repeat. What was she doing on repeat? Something that people were like, okay, well, she's on her computer like this. She does this like this. Or she's on YouTube like this and she does it like this. Or she's at her desk like this and she does it like this. Or she's at her place of work and she does it like this and she does it like that. You know, because some people work from home, some people work in the job. Or, you know, she's in her vehicle and she's doing it like this. So she's at the tarot store picking up cards, or she's at this business shop, you know, in this training session. Like, there's something predictable about what this boss lady was doing, so other people were able to understand why this had came up out of nowhere. It's the continued actions. What are those continued actions? Before, they look like nothing, but now as you see them a little bit closer, it's like, oh, she was systematically changing to, there's a confirmation there because I repeated it, to get to a different version of herself. She didn't just wake up one day different. She changed little habits that she had along the way. And they're predictable habits that anybody can do, but she just decided to do all of them together and stick to it. And so she became a great entrepreneur with stuff technically maybe anyone could do. If you want to open up a shop, there's a whole bunch of things on wholesale that you can sell, and you can just put a sticker on and be like, that's your original product, and resell it, you know, with a whole bunch of other certifications and licenses. But you're able to resell it, anything you want. If you like cups, go sell cups. If you like shoes, you know, you want to make your own booties, like, go sell them. Like, this boss lady understood the little things that it took to get to that big idea, and then didn't care about anybody else being in her way while everybody else is too busy focusing on the big idea. And how did you get there? It's the little steps. Focus on the little steps. Okay, so I'm not really getting that this boss lady is a health aide or a counselor or therapist. I'm getting that maybe she went to a counselor or therapist in order to maybe unlock the parts of her that would be so maybe like everyone else. What's the big picture? How do I get there? Instead, she was able to learn the healing process, give herself better health, give herself better aid in her own personal development. And because she saw how that personal development with all those little things, that's what taught her, oh, okay, maybe it's the little things that's going to help me in the business. If this is what helped me with my personal healing, you know, trauma that, you know, she's probably had since childhood or since teenage years or since young adult years or middle age years, depending on how old this, how much older this individual is from childhood age, right? And that this is real news. Like, you can see it, it's predictable, they were caught. Like, it's you can understand why they have what they have. It's not that they just were blessed out of nowhere. Yes, you know, being magnetic and attractive, you get miracles and blessings, but that's because the forework was put into it. The frequency alignment, the healing, the personal growth, the collective growth. So you understanding now your awareness with the world, the matrix we're in, and how the game needs to be played. Okay? It's all systematic. So it's not like anybody can be mad at her. It's not like anybody can be like, you know, you don't deserve this. It's laid out. But you would have to be in a certain mind state to see this. Okay? You're a product of your environment. I saw And I love these little tangents, right? Because I definitely saw, I'm not really a TikToker, but I saw on Instagram this video of this tribe, and how this tribe is one of the earliest tribes you could think of, very near the Aborigines and the Yoruba, and they're still living today. They don't have a color for blue. So if you look at the sky is a certain color and the grass is green. The water is a certain color and the grass is green. The trees are green. To them, the sky and the water is a different hue of green. Because they don't have a word for the color blue, the sky and the water is all meshed into what the land and the trees are. So to them, if you say green, you could be talking about a blueberry, or you can be talking about lettuce. Two very different things that I don't think you would want to mix into the same meal, type of thing. I mean, hey, if you want to make a salad like that, people probably do that. Anyway, so it's just going to show you, like, your mind, the frame of your mind. You only have access to the energies that you allow yourself access to. So they don't know the color blue. It does not make sense in their culture. But if someone outside of their culture went to them and said, in our culture, we can distinguish the difference. This is blue. This is green. Can you distinguish the differences now? Because their eyes can see that the hue of green is darker or lighter. But now can their brains accept that hue of green is now blue? That's what we're all called to do. Accept that the hue that we thought was green is now blue. We weren't yet taught this information. But now that we are at a place where we can be taught the information, are we teachable? Can we absorb the knowledge and utilize it? Well, that village, no. That village will continue to teach everyone that the color is green all around. There's no such thing as blue. Blue doesn't exist in nature for them. Blueberries are green berries. Or most likely just berries, obviously. Just berries. But here, there's not only green and blue, there's so many different varieties of blue. And because there's so many different varieties of blue, we can manipulate that blue to make even more. So you see how just with one word alone, we're able to create so much more on top of that. It's the same thing with knowledge. It's the same thing with education. The more information you allow yourself to absorb, the more you can build on it. You just have to have discernment to know whether it is good information for you, truthful, honest information, or lies, deceit, chaos. Hey, okay, so I'm gonna let my tangent go on that one, because he just started playing the jams. That is confirmation that we got this message out. Yes, although it's a little bit tricky, we got this message out. Okay, clap it up. Clap it up. A round of applause. All right, so I think officially on that note, I will see us soon. Until the next.